Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about why attractive men do not need to chase women. So, first of all, let's talk about physically attractive men and why they don't need to chase women. They don't need to chase women because the obvious, they're very attractive. They're attractive men, and so it's easy for them to get their foot in the door with women. But what I want to say to you about men who are attractive is that if their vibe is off, if they become unconfident around women, if they have a lot of red flags that put women off, then it doesn't matter how good looking they are. Those women will not stay with him for very long, okay? Unless he happens to attract a woman who is very like-minded, right? It's like a like attracts like situation. Because it might be the case that she doesn't care about his vibe, she doesn't care about his personality, she only cares that he looks nice so she can pose for photos with him on Instagram. Then I'm sure they will be a match made in heaven, even if his vibe is off and he does a lot of unattractive behaviors and things. Because sometimes, even though physical attractiveness draws someone in, right? So you may see a beautiful woman and be instantly drawn to her. But if you start, let's say, for example, you start talking to her and she has a lot of traits that are negative that you don't like. Perhaps she's really rude to people. Perhaps she's obsessed with her phone and when you're talking to her, she's always looking at it. And it annoys you. If the vibe is wrong, if the vibe is off, even though she's beautiful and good looking, you may be put off with making her your girlfriend. Yeah, maybe you can become fuck buddies or whatever, and you might like her for that, but you don't want to be with her for very long. You might not want to be in a relationship with her and get married to her because she's a pain in the ass to hang out with, basically, and to be around. And it's the same with women. Like, a man may be physically attractive, but if he's doing things that are putting her off in other ways, then she's not going to want to stick with him for very long. So yes, attractiveness gets your foot in the door, but it's not necessary to keeping a woman. Okay? So the main thing that you want to cultivate, because I know there may be a lot of men in watching this video that feels like they're not very good looking. So the only thing that you may have is your vibe, okay? And if you've got the right vibe, then you can easily attract and keep women. Okay, and you can easily find a girlfriend, you can easily get married, you can easily have multiple girlfriends if that's what you want. You can have life the way you want it, and I truly believe that. We are the creators of our own reality, and I really, truly believe that. Okay, so then how do we achieve this? How do we build this attractive vibe? Because maybe you feel like, oh, well, I'm not good looking and I'm a nervous wreck around women, I'm insecure around women, I'm truly fucked, right? You might be thinking that. So how do we build this vibe then? So you've at least got the vibe right, even if you feel like you don't have the attractiveness right. So here are some things that you can try to cultivate within yourself. So one of them is just being loose, just being chill when you're around women, okay? Which can be a bit difficult, especially if you're on a date with a woman that you find really, really attractive and you've got all these nerves inside of you. But what I want to say about that is that it's okay to be nervous on a date. It's all right to be nervous when you're in the presence of a woman you find extremely attractive. Because, well, it's a nerve-wracking thing, right? It's not easy to be calm and chill and loose. But there is a way that you can be that way when you're around a woman that you really like, okay? And it's all about your focus and your attention. Because if you're inward and you're thinking about, well, okay, I've got to say the right lines, how can I make her my girlfriend, or oh my god, I wasn't posing in the right body language just then. You know, if you're too busy inward and like, oh my god, did I just say the wrong thing? If you're too busy being inwardly focused, you are going to come across nervous and inauthentic, and your vibe is definitely going to be off if you're just in your head the whole time when you're on a date with a beautiful woman, okay? So the idea then is to take the focus from being inside to outside and on the woman in question, the woman in front of you, okay? And the way that you focus that energy outwards so you're no longer nervous, is to put the spotlight on her. And the way that you do that is by asking her questions about herself and saying very little yourself. And that's really cool because you can remain mysterious. So if she wants to get to know you more, then she's going to have to keep on dating you. But also it takes the spotlight off of you, because and you should want to do this anyway, because you should be trying to find out if, yeah, she may be physically beautiful, but do I actually like spending time with her? Do we have things in common? Am I going to actually enjoy spending my time with her? Because who knows, we might end up spending the rest of our lives together. So I need to make sure that this woman is good for me, and that I enjoy her company. So I'm going to focus my attention outwards. And the next thing that I want you to focus on as well, when you're on a date with a woman, so you can take that focus off yourself, that nervousness off yourself, and then just direct it outwards and focus on her instead. So you're not in your head, basically, is to think about your outcomes. Now, I've been talking about this relatively a lot in my videos recently, but you got to think about your outcomes, because sometimes when a guy goes on a date, his outcome is, okay, she's really hot, she's really beautiful, I've got to try and somehow make her my girlfriend. I've got to try and make her fall in love with me. I've got to try and make her sleep with me at the end of the night. I need to lock this woman in somehow, okay? And how can I impress her? How can I do this? How can I do this? How can I do that? How can I get her to want me, okay? So you got to just get rid of all of those outcomes, all of them, because what they're going to do is they're just going to, again, put you back in your head, okay, and in your nervous energy, right? And you're not going to become loose and chill. So again, you're putting the outcomes outward, okay? So your outcomes should be this. First of all, right, your outcome should be, one of your first outcomes should be this. I'm just going to have a good time. I want her to have a good time, so my goal is to make her laugh. I'm going to try and just be funny and silly and goofy, and for us to have a great time and to just have fun and to get her to laugh. Okay, your second outcome should be, I want to get to know her. How can I get to know her? What kind of questions can I ask to make sure that she's a right fit for me? What can I do? What can I say to get her to open up and talk about her life and about her interests? Okay, and also, how can I get her to laugh as well? Like, how can I sprinkle in there laughter and joy and fun? Okay, so it's all about taking those goals that I said previously and getting rid of them and focusing outwardly and focusing on those outcomes instead, because those outcomes instead will benefit you much more greater than how can I make her my girlfriend? How can I impress her? How can I get her to sleep with me? Okay, because those things are just going to make you not loose and chill. You're going to be trying to rush things. You're going to be feeling nervous. You're going to be acting inauthentic because you're thinking of maybe lines that you heard your friends say in the past that seem to work on women, and so you're using those, but because you're in this nervous state, they don't come across natural. But you're going to be much more natural when you're around women that you find attractive, if instead you're just focusing on getting to know her and making her laugh, trying to get a smile out of her, right? By being silly and goofy, okay? So it's all about the silly, playful, fun energy, right? When you're together. And it may be that when you're on a date with a woman, it doesn't come naturally for this to happen because you meet her on a date and let's say the vibe is off with you both and she doesn't seem to be laughing at your jokes. Maybe you don't even find her jokes very funny and it's a bit stilted and not great. And what I would say is if you're on a date with that kind of woman, then don't continue dating her. Don't go on another date with her. But if you meet a woman and you really hit it off and you're talking loads and you're really interested in each other and you're laughing and you're joking and you're having a great time, then that's how you know that you're on a date with the right kind of woman. If that vibe is there and it's very easy for you to make her laugh, it's very easy for you to be funny and silly and goofy together. If that's the energy you guys have got, then you should keep on dating that woman because that woman really, really likes you. Okay, and it's going really well and she likes your vibe. And basically the kind of energy that you're trying to recreate here is when you first meet like a new best friend and you're just constantly and just instantly on that wavelength of just joking and being silly and being goofy together, like when you're at school and then you was with your friend and then the teachers had to separate you because you're just like laughing all the time and just like just having that silly energy. That's what you want to kind of replicate. You want to replicate something like that when you're on a date with a woman. And that will automatically make you more loose, more chill, more relaxed, and it'll make you feel more confident in yourself too. Okay, And that's how you can get that attractive vibe. It's about that energy. That kind of energy. Now, that kind of energy is not something that you're going to be able to create with all women, because they need to be able to play back. It takes two to tango. So if you're doing this and you're trying to recreate that energy and it just isn't working, don't date those kinds of women anymore. Okay? So, yes, physically attractive men can get their foot in the door with women, but if their vibe is off and they're not very confident around women, and they're not, creating joy and laughter and fun, then it doesn't matter how good looking they are. Okay? If you'd like more tips, then you can go and read my book for free, Attracting the Beautiful Woman of Your Dreams. You can go and read it for free on my website. All you need to do is go to www.christinelovage.com, go to the menu and click on the book, and it will take you straight there. You don't need to log into the website. You don't need to sign up for anything. There's no weird, confusing landing page. The only thing else that is on the page where the book is a link to the Amazon where you can buy a physical copy. So you can buy a physical copy on Amazon, or you can get the Kindle version, but it's not necessary because everything in this is on the website. So if you would like coaching with me, then you can also go to www.christinelovage.com if you need help with a specific situation. But again, I've got a lot of videos. The book is there for you to read for free. It's not necessary for you to pay to talk to me. Okay, so thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.